Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and we're bringing you turn 14 of Main Battle Tank, 3rd Armor versus 28th Tank Regiment. And so I'm a government employee, and I was told yesterday that missions will still go on, but if we're not involved in a mission, then we stay home. So, and that is until like the end of April. So it's crazy. So obviously I don't have a mission going on, and it looks like I'm going to get well, I have the potential to get a lot of gaming done. It all depends on how lazy I want to be, but it's like a 1 month long, almost a 1 month long vacation pretty much. So here we are. It's main battle tank. I want to get this wrapped up so I can get something else on the table. And here's the crazy thing. It's so I was going to have my big guy weekend on Memorial Day, which is what, next month? So let me see, March, April, no, May. It's still a go. It depends on how this whole, coronavirus panic thing goes. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, everything that they tell you to do, I pretty much do anyway. I avoid large groups. Obviously, hey, solo gamers, right? We tend to be kind of introverted or whatever. So during my off time, I play video games, I play board games, I go hiking. It's all activities that I do by myself. I only go to the store when I have to. I go in, I get whatever I need, and then I leave. I don't hang around. I don't do all that kind of stuff. I don't. When I eat out, I tend to do takeout. So I already do the things that they're telling me to do. I socially. Here we go. I socially distance myself naturally, right? So I think, like, I've seen some memes on the internet where, like video gamers and all that are just kind of laughing because these are the things that we do anyway. So video gamers and solo gamers, they're just like, okay, so nothing's changed. So anyway, where I was going with this is I have my big Memorial Day get-together planned. Whether or not that happens, only time will tell. So as of right now, it's on, and the game that I planned on setting up, or what was I going to play after this, I don't know. I've been wanting to do World in Flames. Here, let's go over here. So I've been wanting to do. Here's my shelf of amazingness. So I've been wanting to do. For a while, we've got World in Flames, and then we have A World at War. Those are monster games, right? That would take a long time to play, and they require a lot of space. Well, I have the space, but I've been kind of like, well, I kind of want to start one of those, but, if I'm going to have a group of dudes over here at the end of May, I mean, there's no way that I'll have one of those set up and played. And then before they get here, and I want to be able to use my big table. I want to be able to use my big table here so that we can play something cool, right? Because like Jack, he's down with Whiff, but some of the other guys aren't. That's just not their thing. So, with all this, with this month of free time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to go out on a mission or whatever, or two, probably during that month. But it's basically going to end up being a couple of weeks of free time. Maybe I could actually get Whiff or World at War on the table, or a next war something. I don't know, man. I really don't know what to do. So, there you have it. I've spent almost 5 minutes talking about nonsense, but what you really came here for was to see what's going on here. So the Americans won the initiative this time, which is good because they really needed it. So I've pre-plotted all the fires that could potentially happen. Now, obviously, the Americans get to fire first, so all their shots are going to go off. But the Russians may or may not have all the stuff that I have plotted on here. So we've got this this M1 here, he's kind of running to the town, which is smart, right? So the last stand is going to end up being here. So he's firing at one of these guys up here on the hill. There's 2 tanks there, and both of them will return fire if they're alive. If only one of them survives, then only one of them will return fire. I've got this Bradley here. He barely has line of sight. So this hex right here almost cuts off line of sight, but it doesn't quite. So it's a good shot. So he's going to fire here. And then I have this Fister. He's going to fire at this T-72. So the Russians only have 4 T-72s left. And I have 3 shots at these tanks. So we'll see what happens. So in return, this is the last tank of Rob's platoon. He's going to fire back here. And then this tank is going to fire back at that Fist. If they manage to survive. So let's see what happens. All right, we'll start here. 63% chance, short range shot. 41, that is a hit. It's a rising shot because these guys are up on an elevated position. Shouldn't be too much problem for an M1 tank though. They're pretty stout. All right. So a 9-1 is going to be a no damage, I think. That's going to suck. I mean, that's about the worst that we could possibly have. So the 9 hit location, that's a front shot. That's a hull front. But the 1 here, if you can see, the 1 is a no damage. So that's a terrible result. We definitely didn't want that. All right. So no damage. Let's see. There is always a chance that the crew could bail out. So AP, no damage. There's a 10% chance. Let's see. And we rolled a 30. So the crew doesn't bail out. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll resolve the Soviet return fire. Even though what we would actually do is we resolve all the NATO fire. But the stuff that happens here isn't going to affect the stuff that happens over here. So it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and do the Soviet return fire. So we've got 2 shots at 56%. Let's see. I just want to double check and make sure. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. That's going to be a side shot. Those are going to end up being potential side shots on that M1. So let's see here. First one is an 81. We needed a 56. And the second one is a 17. So that's a good hit. Let's see here. So 6-9, that's actually, the hit's going to be valid whether or not it actually does anything. So 6 from the front side is a hull front, probably not going to penetrate. It is a falling shot. So if we look here, the 9 will actually be a brew up result if it hits. So what did we say? Hull front falling. There we go, right there. So that is a penetration value of 125. Or excuse me, the armor on the hull front is 125. What's the penetration value at short range? Yeah, it's short range for that gun. So short range penetration value is 97. So nothing happens. Let's see here. So we'll do the AP. No damage, even though, yeah, it's a no damage. We'll say 10% chance. So that was close. So we got that was a 12. So that was almost a bail. That would have been great for the Soviets. But as it stands, this guy's still here. What he'll end up doing on his turn is he's going to back up into there. So the only way, it's like standing in the front door of your house, right? So you have protection from the sides and the rear, but you can only come in through the front door. So that's pretty much, he's going to back up. So that, because if you look, it's probably kind of hard to see, but right here, let's see, let's do this. So this right here, that's basically, this is a wall. So it's a walled village. So the tanks aren't going to be able to get through that. The only way to go is through that road. There we go. All right. So let's resolve, we'll go ahead and resolve this here. So that Bradley has an 84% chance to hit this tank. We'll see what happens, because remember, this explosive reactive armor has been really effective. There's been a couple spots where, so that's a 0.9, so that is definitely a hit. Let's see the location. So 0 and a 4. So if we got a front shot, yeah, it's going to be a front shot. So that's a track hit. That's pretty good. So we don't have to do damage or anything like that. There's no, we don't look on here and see if there's penetration value or anything like that, being that it's a track hit. Basically what happens is that vehicle just got immobilized. So he is not going anywhere. He can still shoot, but he is not going anywhere. Now, what we do need to do is damaged or track. So there's a 30% chance that these guys will bail out. And we got a, oh, did you see it? There we go. We got a 52, so those guys don't bail out. So they'll still be able to return fire. We'll go ahead and do that return fire. They have a 70% chance. 56, which is good. So as long as they don't get something like a track hit or whatever, that Bradley is probably dead. So hull front. And then the second die is a 7. So that is a brew up result. Let's just go ahead and make sure. I think that's a short range shot. Yeah, 10. Yeah, that's a short range shot as long as it's lower than 12. If it's between 6 and 12 for the range, then it is a short range shot. Penetration value is 97. And if you look on here, there is no number above what looks like a 26. No, there's a 31. So the highest armor value is 31. So that Bradley is destroyed after all these rounds. He's been there for a long time, causing problems for the Russians. He is now no longer causing problems. So now we'll go ahead and we'll do this. We'll resolve this last group of fire here. Well, at least this guy, he did manage to immobilize. He basically put that tank out of action. So he didn't do his job. So now we'll go ahead and do this right here. So that toe, or that fister, he's got a 49% chance. 73 miss. The tank will fire back. He is at point blank range. He has a 72% chance. And rolls a 91. So, that goes to that right there. So, nothing happened here. They just traded some shots. Nothing happened. So, that is it. We'll go ahead and we'll erase all that, clean up the map a little bit, and then we'll conduct movement, because that's really all that's left. And then we'll move on to the next turn. All right, folks, we've just concluded the movement. So we had these 4 squads. They're slowly advancing because infantry is the key to taking over a town, right? This is the headquarters squad and track. They move forward. This recon element moved forward, so they're still up. They've got some high ground to observe yet. These 2 U.S. squads moved back. This squad moved into the town, so that way if anybody pops into here, he'll be able to assault them. Let's see, what else here? We've got So this Fister, he moved into the light woods, or the woods. So that way he might be able to do a little ambush fire. I mean, these guys probably, they would know that he didn't go that way, so he must have gone into the woods. But the woods will give him some cover. Not a whole lot, but it'll still make it a little bit harder to hit him. It was either go into the woods or go out into the open, so you stand a better shot at just kind of staying in the woods. Now, in the game, there are like there's command span, so if like your units are too spread out, then they may or may not be issued commands and that kind of thing. That's just another one of those rules that just, it sounds good at first, but until you've played a lot and you're used to using it, it just adds more to it. So at first I tried using the command span, but it ends up just, for me, just kind of slowing things down, at least in the beginning of the game. Now turns are going really fast, so maybe I could have done it, but I mean, if I haven't been using it this long, I'll just continue to go with what I'm doing. But I think the command span for veteran units is like 1 or 2 hexes. So technically he should be within 1 or 2 hexes of the headquarters, which is this guy. And the same goes for the Russians. I think the Russians, because their quality. So if you look at you have grades here. So the Americans are veteran and the Russians are seasoned. And this isn't the right chart, but this is the same grades. Let's see if it's even on there. Yeah, here we go. So if you look here, you have veteran, and this tells you how many commands you get for each thing, and then the command range. So veteran is